Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Easy Does It. We decided let's talk about a caramel today. And there's a ton of caramels out there that you can look at, but one of the most frequent used caramels is FA caramel, right? Now, and it might not specifically be for the reasons that you think, because if you go to a DIY shop and you say, "Hey, I want the best caramel," and I heard somebody talking about FA caramel, and you mix up that in single flavor, you might find that this caramel is a little bit thin. It's sweet, but it's kind of thin. And what your expectation is of caramel is that stuff that you eat out of the can, or that you put in the middle of a cake or on top of a cake, which has got like a round, thick mouth feel to it. Very sugary, but if a caramel is a great flavor to have in your flavor stash, but not necessarily as a single flavor caramel. What do you guys think? What do you think, Richard?
If you are developing recipes and looking for your own caramel, you could probably aim for other caramels, maybe go for FW salted or whatever. But if you are starting out, FA caramel is one that you need, and we find the reason for that on ATF. FA caramel, sorry, let me just hold it up here. FA caramel is used in 3,256
recipes. Yeah.
The next most popular GFA caramel original, 638 recipes. The FA has like 70-80% market share on this flavor. And basically, if you are going to be mixing up caramel recipes and you don't have FA caramel, basically 70% of caramel recipes are out of reach for you. So for that reason alone, just being able to mix up what other people have done with FA caramel and to get a feel for what the flavor does in a mix, it's a great flavor to have. Buy yourself a 10 ml bottle, fantastic. You set and you're able to make a ton of recipes with it, and you will understand the flavor very well at the end. There's a lot of angst in vaping that there hasn't been a proper soft crack caramel yet, that they all have their faults, and FlavorArt certainly does as well. It's quite thin. It doesn't give you that rich, creamy, thick, sticky sensation that you would expect from a soft crack caramel. It can be a little bit dry. It can be a little bit gritty. It's got a little bit of a acerbic note to it. How I view it is, I ask myself, how often do I eat caramel in real life? And the answer is not very often at all. How often do I eat bakeries where I want a little bit of dark sweetening in it? Very, very, very often. So that is what caramel does for me. I don't even aim for a soft crack caramel, thick caramel topping on bakeries. What I'm looking for is the same kind of thing that FlavorArt milk and honey gives for me, which is just a sort of dark brown sugar Maillard reaction caramel type of sweetening to the flavor. As long as you don't expect more from FA caramel than that, the flavor will please you. Dietz, what's your view?
Very close to what you said, Richard. I don't see caramel as a standalone, in the same way that condensed milk to me is not a standalone flavor. Some people enjoy it, some people don't, but I would say the people who enjoy it as a standalone is more for the novelty of the caramel flavor. I mean, it's not like you see people sitting with a can of caramel treat and jumping down every Sunday. You use it on cakes and desserts and stuff. So in exactly the same way, for me, that flavor works beautifully as an additive. It gives you that little burnt sugar, the brown burnt sugar kind of crisp, not in texture, but definitely in the type of flavor it adds. And I mean, I personally don't see why you would only have, again, might be the fans, but I don't see why you would have as a single flavor. It would be so much better with a custard or something like that in a dessert form. So exactly as you said, don't expect it as a single flavor. It's going to be thin and short on a lot a lot of points for you. But as an additive and a concentrate that you use in a recipe, it works beautifully in what it delivers, in exactly the flavor and the type of smell. It gives you that beautiful, warm, crisp kind of sugar going with your dessert. So it's an awesome additive. I also get that it pushes a little bit of sweetness without having the sweetener there, depending on what combinations of other concentrate you are using. So it works very well and complements your desserts and bakeries beautifully.
Yeah, this is the value of it. I mean, caramel, you wouldn't really want to use it with fruits, but whereas you might be adding sucralose to fruits, once you get to your bakeries and your creams and your custards and so on, that caramel, that dark brown sugar sweetening just fits so well with the profile. It syncs so much better than a sucralose type of sweetness when you start getting into your bakeries and your pancakes and your waffles and cookies and so on. And the other thing is, it's such an easy flavor to use. 0.5% to 0.75%, maybe 1% if you want it more, and boom, you're good to go. It's not going to screw up anything in your mix. It's not going to throw anything off texturally. It's not going to add any off notes. And you can even boost it a bit higher than that. I mean, a great use of FA caramel to me is Shindo's brown butter ice cream, where you use it up to 2%, which is higher than you would normally expect. But I mean, you think brown butter ice cream, you're looking at dark sweetening. It's brown butter, right? It's dark. It's an ice cream. It's sweet. So he pumps in the FA caramel at 2%, and it just adds to all the other, the creams and the other ingredients in the recipe, and it just gives you that lovely, that brown butter, that sort of dark beige note that you get from a brown butter ice cream, and it just rounds it so much better than other type sweeteners like sucralose or whatever would do. So, for bakery and dessert, nuts, FA caramel, it's going to be a staple in your stash for a long, long time, and well worth the cost.
Yeah, I wrote here to just echo what you guys were saying: bakery, custard, ice cream, tobacco. You know what I mean? Just a smidge. Would benefit all of those categories, I think. Especially if you're looking for that dark sweetness, then yeah, this is one to go for. There's not many good caramel options, so you need to consider that as well. But yeah, absolutely, get this one as part of your flavor stash, especially if you're into bakeries and caramels. You know what I mean? Do you guys want to add anything else to that?
That's it from my side.
Cool, guys. If you have a recipe that contains, Richard mentioned brown butter ice cream. If there's anything other than that that you can recommend, just leave it in the comments below so that other people can find those recipes, or anything else that you use FA caramel for. Leave it in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Thank you for watching the show. And yeah, guys, share this with all your DIY friends, especially ones that are interested in bakeries and caramels. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.